Well, it was difficult to get this whole thing to go again, but go it is, and it sounds pretty good too, I have to say. You can see here the very odd tape mechanism. The spools rise up like a whirl. The heads come down, and then this also springs up. This is the accidental record prevention tab, of course, and it's spring loaded. Because the tape has to go in vertically, nothing can be in the way when it does so. Hence this very odd looking mechanism, well, at least by normal standards. Tapes go into there, and you can see this point here rests on the tapes gently, and when there's enough in there, the lid won't go down fully. That releases this little button here, and then the mechanism won't take in any more. That's the reject sequence. This is where the microphones go in, either separate left and right ones or a stereo one like I have, into 5-pin DIN plugs. Pressing this starts the dynamic noise limiter. I suspect the bulbs have gone here because this should be illuminated to show which tape it is you're playing, whether it's chrome or normal. Well, they've actually got it marked special and normal on this whole thing. The tape counter, that took some getting going again and was a right pig to change the belt on. That was the worst part of it. And there's your left and right VU meters, and you can see they respond during playback as well as recording. I have actually tried recording on this thing and it does work, but it only seemed to come through the right hand channel, I think. It may well be that there's just a bit of dirt and fluff and crap in the 5-pin DIN plugs. The record playback switch is alright, because, well, it wouldn't be playing now, would it really? On the back you've got the 2-pin DIN plugs for your speakers, a most peculiar old-fashioned headphone jack, which you don't see anymore, and then of course your input for the tape and phono. That would be for a ceramic pickup. You could use a magnetic one or moving coil, in which case you plug it into the microphone. And they very thoughtfully have written everything upside down as well, so when you're leaning over it like this, you can see it the right way up. They don't do things like that now, do they, so much? They just leave you to get on with it. Also found these rather snazzy two-way Philips speakers. Quite often when you see a big square one like this, made of plastic, they don't sound that good because all there is inside is a big 8-inch octagonal framed one-way speaker, and they can tend to sound a little bit boomy, let me put it that way. But this has proper two-way speakers. There's a little tweeter in there, nice woofer in here, proper crossover. The thing weighs a ton for what it is, and that's the giveaway, of course. I'm rather surprised it hasn't got Hi-Fi International on it somewhere, but perhaps they'd stopped doing it by the mid-70s when these were made. And there you go again, you see. Clever stuff. I expect this thing cost an absolute fortune when it was made. Don't think there's anything on this one. As you fast forward, you do have to hold the fast forward and rewind controls down on this. That's the only trouble with it. They don't lock in. And of course you stop. Recording on this is quite an art, by the way. Pressing pause first, then the start switch to bring the drive system up. Once that's there, then press record. And then you release pause and off she goes. Slightly different sequence to the usual sort of thing. But probably, well worth preserving, I would have said, this thing. There can't be all that many of them left, because I don't think they made that many in the first place. I've only ever seen 2 others, I think. One of which was the earlier 2401 with the AC motors in it, and that was donkeys years ago, probably in the early 80s. Anyway, so that is that one fixed by the look of it. Thank heavens. I didn't really want to have to chuck it away or break it up for spares or anything, because it is such an unusual piece of kit. Well, I don't know, things continue to go on with these pikey, filthy jippos up at Basildon, and they still haven't moved out and seem to think they're above the law and all that. No news there then, is it, you know? They all seem to speak with Irish accents, so you might ask, what the hell are they doing here? Well, an Irish friend of mine tells me that they're probably here because in Ireland they don't put up with all this shit. They get rather humpy with people who trespass on their land, etc., etc., or, you know, break regulations like planning laws, you know, nothing minor. You know. It's our culture, innit, you know what I mean? Right. But there you go, so it remains to be seen what will happen with that lot. I know what I'd do. The same as that farmer did when he got sick of them. Drove a small tank through one of the caravans. Never had any trouble with jippos since, evidently. Isn't that odd?